In 356 BCE, in the Macedonian capital of Pella, a child was born who would change the course of history. His name was Alexander, son of King Philip II and Queen Olympus. On the night of his birth, legend says the temple of Artemis in Ephesus burned to the ground, and many believed this was a sign that a force had entered the world destined for greatness. From the very beginning, Alexander's life was surrounded by omens, ambition, and prophecy. As a child, Alexander was unlike other boys. While others played simple games, he imagined great battles, staging mock wars where he always cast himself as the hero. He loved Homer's Iliad and admired Achilles above all, dreaming of deeds that would make him immortal in memory. At the age of 12, when a wild horse terrified the men of his father's court, Alexander noticed that the animal was afraid of its own shadow. He turned it towards the sun, mounted it, and tamed it. The horse, Bucephalus, became his loyal companion for years to come. King Philip, astonished, declared, "My son, Macedonia is too small for you. Seek a kingdom worthy of your ambition." Alexander was courageous, curious, and restless. He admired bravery and despised cowardice. He was deeply loyal to his companions, but could be quick tempered when betrayed. At 13, his father entrusted his education to the philosopher Aristotle. Under him, Alexander studied philosophy, politics, medicine, and science, and he developed a passion for knowledge and exploration. Yet, above all, he remained obsessed with the heroic ideals of Homer's epics. To Alexander, life was not only about ruling, but about becoming a legend. In 336 BCE, tragedy struck. King Philip II was assassinated, and at just 20 years old, Alexander ascended the throne of Macedonia. Many doubted that such a young king could survive in a dangerous world, but Alexander moved quickly. He crushed revolts in Greece and destroyed the city of Thebes so completely that no other city dared resist him again. With Greece under his command, he turned to his father's dream, the conquest of Persia, the most powerful empire of the time. In 334 BCE, Alexander crossed into Asia with 40,000 men. His first great victory came at the river Granicus, where he led from the front and defeated the Persian satraps, securing Asia Minor. A year later, in 333 BCE, he faced King Darius III himself at Issus. Outnumbered, Alexander charged directly at Darius, who fled in panic. Abandoning his own family, Alexander treated them with respect, displaying a blend of ruthlessness in war and compassion in victory. From there, he marched south to seek where the eastern Mediterranean. At Tyre, he built a massive causeway to reach the fortified island city, conquering it after 7 long months of siege. At Gaza, he overcame fierce resistance and opened the way to Egypt. There he was welcomed as a liberator. At the Siva oasis, priests declared him the son of Zeus Ammon, a title he embraced. In Egypt, he also founded Alexandria, a city that would one day become the greatest cultural and intellectual center of the ancient world. In 331 BCE, Alexander faced Darius again at the Battle of Gaugamela, one of the most decisive battles in history. Though heavily outnumbered, Alexander's brilliant tactics broke the Persian lines. Darius fled once more, and the Persian Empire crumbled. Alexander entered Babylon, Susa, and Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of Persia. At Persepolis, he set fire to the great palace, perhaps as revenge for the Persian invasion of Greece a century and a half earlier. But Alexander's ambition was endless. He marched further east into Central Asia, where he fought brutal campaigns against fierce resistance in Bactria and Sogdiana. Here he married Roxana, a local princess, and encouraged his soldiers to marry Persian women as part of his vision of uniting Greek and Eastern cultures. His dream was of a single empire where East and West would be joined together. Yet not all his men accepted this vision. In 327 BCE, Alexander turned his sights on India. At the Hellespont River in 326 BCE, he faced King Porus, who commanded mighty war elephants. The battle was long and fierce, but Alexander triumphed. Impressed by Porus' courage, he restored him as ruler and gained him as an ally. Yet when Alexander wished to march further towards the Ganges, his weary soldiers refused. For the first time, Alexander had to turn back, his dream of reaching the ends of the world unfulfilled. On his return, Alexander sought to govern his vast empire. He founded new cities, promoted the fusion of cultures, and even staged mass marriages between his men and Persian women. But his darker side also showed itself in a drunken rage. He killed his loyal companion, Cletus the Black, an act that filled him with grief. He demanded worship as a god, which created resentment among his men. His greatness was undeniable, but so too were his flaws. In 323 BCE, Alexander returned to Babylon, where he began planning new conquests, including the invasion of Arabia. But suddenly, after attending a banquet, he fell ill. Over 12 days, his condition worsened until he could no longer speak. On June 10th or 11th, 323 BCE, at the age of just 32, Alexander the Great died. The cause of his death remains a mystery. Some say fever, others malaria, or perhaps poison. With no clear heir, his vast empire was divided among his generals, plunging the world into decades of chaos. Yet Alexander's legacy was eternal. He founded more than 20 cities, spread Greek culture across three continents, and gave rise to the Hellenistic Age, a period where Greek, Persian, Egyptian, and Indian traditions blended. He was a warrior who fought at the front, a visionary who dreamed of a united world, and a man whose flaws made him deeply human. His empire crumbled, but his name endured. Alexander the Great remains remembered not only as a conqueror but as a legend who believed the world itself was too small for him and who achieved eternal glory in just 32 years of life.